Yeah, weather has just been crazy. Looking right now, it says it's 77, but it was a high of 85 today, and it's just 30% chance tonight. But man, I tell you, we have gotten the rain. It's been crazy.
Yep, and again, you can keep it. I'm done with rain for the year. Between the black flies that attack your eyes and nose and ears, and then the mosquitoes are now turning into, velociraptors. Um,
Oh yeah,
and then I have friends and whatnot that um, I have been fortunate, and I'm going to knock on some, actually, as much wood as I can find. I have yet, I have yet to find a tick on me, so I'm pretty excited by that. I know that I have many friends, neighbors that have all had multiple, and we've been having breezy days, and some people are like, "Do ticks fly?" Ticks do not fly, but they seem to drift on the wind, and they'll stand
I
at the
think they
top.
fall from the trees and
They,
the
yes,
branches and
and
stuff.
land on you. And land on you. It's
Yep,
it's awful,
yep.
horrible. But thankfully, I'm again knocking on wood. I've yet to have to deal with them, so that's definitely good. Um, but hey, yep, and someone said in here too, and you got a marble on top of all that other cool stuff. So I think it was
Yeah,
Aggie was like, and you got a marble. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, the weekend before, I don't remember. I guess we talked about that. But yeah, or I did last week before we started. But she got her Walk in Liberty $50 um, at the place we want to take you when you come visit. But yeah, always find marbles there. I just love finding marbles. It's one of my favorite things to find is marbles. You know, I love finding the bottles too, of course, but the marbles, there's just something about it. Oh, and speaking of marbles, that's what we talked about. Was it last week with was it Brandon?
yep, Brandon.
Okay, those marbles with the thing in them, um, the little animals you were
Yep,
talking about.
yep, animals and figures.
I still have yet to look that up, so I can't wait. I really want to check out your marble book when I ever get to come visit. So
So I've the the books as of right now, because I didn't like the shelf that they were on, because you basically had to sit down on the floor to view the shelf. So I have, that big long coffee table that's in the living room. They're currently stacked in stacks all the way down it. Because I've been pulling them out because I needed to look at this, I needed to look at the plate book, I needed to look at the marble book, I needed to the thimble book, you name it, I had to look at, and so finally I'm like, I'm done. I'm done putting them in this little. So the next big thing is I need to get a bookcase. So so I don't have to sit on the
yeah, yeah,
floor. I need one that is eye level, that I can put them and not have to be like so yeah, that's
yeah.
definitely need to work on that.
You really need one because those books you have are just simply amazing. And I know you helped me out when I had went um, and found those buttons where they the War of 1812 um, buttons and helped me identify some of those buttons. If it wouldn't have been for you and your button books, me sending you photos and stuff, I mean that those books are just flipping amazing. I really want some of those button books.
But I love it. I love it when people reach out and they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Do do do, we're on a mission. All right, let's see." I'm pulling out this book. I've got my phone. Sometimes I bring up my second phone and I've got two different images of the button, the back and the front, so I can have the book in front and be like, I love it. It really is. It's like a mission, and it feels so cool to be able to go, aha, here it is. Um, and as exciting as finding a button that's not in the button book, it's also very frustrating. um, and it's one of those things I reached out to quite a few of the top button people out in the field, some that are retired, and it's okay. So what happens now? What happens when, these new buttons or rare buttons, or, there's enough detectorists out there, there's enough dump diggers, mudlarkers. We're finding things that aren't in those books. They're not in the reference book. There might not even be any examples online. Like, how are we saving this information so that way it's not being misconstrued for the future? Who do we talk to? Do you go to the local historians? Do you and really it's sad because I haven't gotten a path, because I now have two that are unidentified and not in any of the books. And yeah, it's one of those things that I think collectively as a hobby, we could come up with something on how I know, I think it's George does the Buckle books. I think Butch has put together a bunch of really good books. And local stuff. I think one was the Virginia items found. I can't think of the name of it. But at the same time, I'm like, it's we need to get it started. Same with like the lead bale seals. I know Dennis has been really working on. DF Digger has been working on like an archival of lead bale seals in the United States, or maybe it's just Maine. But again, like I think that would be good because those products were sent all over or they were brought in from wherever. And it's like, oh, it'd be so cool if we could like collectively, besides Pinterest and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, that there was like, I don't know, a collective area. other than
Right.
other than eBay saying something is something that it is absolutely not, and then people are running with it, 5 years down the line, going, well, this post, this is what this was, and it's absolutely not. And you're like, what? That's not.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not that. What are you talking about? That's not military. That's not this. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some of those eBay posts, and it drives me crazy when they totally mislabel them. And some of them are pretty easy, for like people like us that have been detecting so long. You kind of got a general idea most of the time anyway, so you can kind of tell when you see their posts. You're like, oh my gosh, what a joke. But I have a button that I found years ago that I think I posted it in that ID Me a long time ago, and I have looked and searched and have still never found what it is. I ought to take a picture sometime and send it to you and see if you might be able to identify it in one of your button books.
Heck yeah, I'm willing to give it a try. And again, if it's not in there, I don't know what to tell you. We'll just start a unidentified button group or unidentified objects, UO metal detector, UO treasures.
I like it. We could make a book out of that too. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I think the magazine that Butch does has a questions on things. American Digger magazine has a section that people can send things into as well. But again, like trying to go back through all the prior, especially if I'm like, I know I saw this somewhere. You can't find it online. You can't find it in the books. And then I'm like, maybe it was in that section of the American Digger magazine. And then I'm going through every freaking each one of the volumes going, nope, not this one. Not this one.
Right. But yeah, I really think that's a good idea. We could probably, between all of us detectors, we've all got some of those unidentified objects, and we should put together a book. That would be a fun book. I really think it would be. But yeah, I'll have to send you that photo of that button.
That's awesome. Yeah, please do. It is fun. I like it when other people do send them. I mean, especially like if I'm home just kicking it. It's one of those, yeah, seriously, I feel like I'm on a mission. Like, yes, let's get this solved. But again, that's part of being in the geek world, I think. Which I think we're all geeks. But hey, it's neither here nor there. I know that I think we're supposed to still be getting some nice weather. Sadly, a lot of our hay fields have been harrowed and seeded. I think there's two that are not yet, and I'm keeping my eye on them. I think we're supposed to get maybe rain showers, and I'm hoping to get out after that when the ground is wet. But I know there's a bunch of adventures coming up, and obviously, I put it in the beginning of the show, but any of you who have joined late, the show may sound good right now, and I'm hoping it really does. But everything had again an update. Gypsy and I tested a couple of hours ago. Everything was good. Left it as is. Didn't turn anything off, didn't do anything, came back and tested before the show, and anytime Gypsy talked that I was not muted, she echoed. So I'm doing the quick push button, trying to mute myself, and we're going back and forth. Or we would have had a guest, but this probably wouldn't have worked as well with a guest. Well, it might have actually. But hopefully the show is sounding good for everybody. And yeah.
Fun. Yeah, there was something else I was going to talk about, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm like, I know you were filming. I know you've got big adventures coming up. I know we have a lot of awesome guests coming up as well that I'm pretty excited for. And I know you all will be excited for as well. Pretty great treasure hunters, history savers. And yeah, I don't know. It's been one of those weeks, and guess what? It is only Monday here on the East Coast at 8:43 p.m. I do have to say, I can't believe that we're almost through May. We're about halfway, correct?
Yeah, time is flying. You're having fun.
And the true summer will begin in 2 weekends, Memorial Day. If you're, I know I did this, I think this past fall. I traveled on one of the busy holidays. So if you're all traveling, Gypsy, maybe you can give some helpful hints on if you're flying with your detector.
Okay. Yeah. I can definitely do that. I know that we're both probably going to be doing some traveling before too long, especially during the summer. It's usually when most people are going on a lot of trips, to go visit relatives or during the holidays, Memorial Day weekend, etc. And you want a way to bring your metal detector, especially if you're flying, I thought I purchased a large, very large, rolly, what do you call it? Rolly suitcase. And that thing, I can fit, well, I have one shovel that I can fit in it.